Since being a member of the Sun Belt from 2014 to 2017, the football program at New Mexico State has been classified as independent. But starting in 2023, they and along with 16 men's and women's athletic programs and over 400 student athletes will make the jump to Conference USA. And to talk more on that, joining us live from the Land of Enchantment, Mr. Mario Moccia, the athletic director. Mario, first off, thanks for joining us. And secondly, congrats on the move. What makes this such an exciting time for Aggie Nation?
Well, ever since we played, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's great to be on. Great studio there, and a great sport coat too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, what's exciting for us is the last football game we played as a member of a conference was in December of 2017. We were in the Sun Belt Conference. We were playing in the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. We won the game in overtime with 25,000 Aggie fans in attendance. It was unbelievable. And then, we entered independent football. And so much of this is football driven, but it's been the primary goal of the athletic department, I'm sure of the team, the coaching staff, and all of my staff, and quite frankly, the whole university, to find a home in an FBS conference. But when you say, hey, your home is Conference USA, it's like you're moving into a great penthouse. You know what I mean? It's not just a regular home. It's a really nice home. So we're just glad to be here, and we're really excited.
Wow. So you got to hit the elevator button to the penthouse. Now you're raising all the way up back to that FBS conference level. That's a lot of excitement around it. But you're also an alumni yourself, and you have such a long history of an alumni base, and Aggie Nation has so much backing around this athletic department. How much did that play a factor into making a move like this into CUSA?
Well, it played a lot. New Mexico's a unique state. I mean, there's only two Division I FBS schools in the state, us and New Mexico. So we're devoid of, what I would say professional sports. I mean, there's a AAA baseball team up in Albuquerque, but there's a lot of eyeballs on us, whereas other states, have professional, sports teams. They have other universities. So there's a lot of eyeballs, and that's why it was such an exciting time. I mean, gee whiz, at our football game against Utah State, at our basketball game against UC Irvine. I mean, people are just shouting out from the crowd, hey, that's a great job. This is awesome. We play a little Conference USA, intro tease, and the fans loved it. So, it's really captivated, our city of Las Cruces and Aggies, nationwide.
How much can a fan base like that and an alumni foundation like that really benefit from the conference and some of the competition that'll come to town?
Well, I think, first of all, the fans will get to see a new set of teams coming in, and that's always exciting for them. I mean, it's not like our fan base is unfamiliar with Louisiana Tech or Liberty University or Florida International University, but it's a teams that maybe they haven't seen very much. So I think that's always exciting for the fan base. And then to compete against institutions that have FBS programs, I just think that adds a little, spice to the gumbo, as they say. And I think it's really exciting for them. And that's why there's just so much enthusiasm at the moment.
Who knew there was gumbo in New Mexico? I thought that was like a Louisiana.
Well, yeah, I could have thrown, enchiladas on there, but I want to ease you into our culture here.
Hey, that's okay, and it's a fantastic one at that. But you also mentioned some of those institutions that'll be coming to town, and UTEP specifically, an established rivalry, such close proximity between the Miners and the Aggies, and two fan bases that, of course, have clashed in the past. But what is it like to have that now in conference play on a regular basis?
My answer to that is, boy, we got to ask the fan base, because when we play the Miners, we're so geographically isolated here. The Miners and the Lobo games are like the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl Part 2. Mm-hmm. So it's just a huge deal whenever we play them. I mean, we share the same TV stations, the same media. We're exactly 40 miles from football stadium to football stadium on the same highway, Interstate 10. So the Battle of I-10 is always huge. We've been playing against each other for 100 years. But now you throw on top that these games will matter for conference standings. They could matter for who goes to the NCAA tournaments. I just think, I don't know, the cherry on top of a great Sunday. So I think our fans are really excited about that prospect.
You think buying into that rivalry is really going to help maybe even elevate the fan base across the board more because of having that extra emphasis and that extra intensity surrounding a game like that?
There's no doubt. And, ironically enough, our rivalry with UNM is a little more heated, maybe. UTEP, I'd label it a little more friendly rivalry. Not that much friendly, but, we're so close. And we've been separated, right? So other than the game, we kind of get to root for each other. Now, yeah, it's going to be a different dynamic for our fan base and our alums because now there is something extra on the table whenever we play the Miners.
And that's exciting that it is across the board with that rivalry. Now, specifically to the hardwood, your men's and women's basketball teams have a rich history of having success and, of course, some great teams going into the next couple of years as well. How do you feel like that success could translate to Conference USA and what is a fantastic basketball conference?
Yeah, look, I was the athletic director at Southern Illinois University for almost 9 years, so I'm unbelievably familiar with Western Kentucky University. I know Chris Massaro at Middle Tennessee State. I mean, those are some stout basketball programs. We know Louisiana Tech and Liberty have both had, tremendous programs as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting challenge for us. We've been fortunate to have great success in the Western Athletic Conference and, have emerging rivalries with Grand Canyon and, this year and next, with Stephen F. Austin. But I'm really anxious to see who our fan base kind of adopts as that hated rival. Could be Liberty, could be Western Kentucky. When we were in the Sun Belt a long, long time ago, we did play against Western Kentucky. So, our fan base does have some familiarity. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Louisiana Tech, maybe in the early 2000s, was in the Western Athletic Conference. So there's going to be some familiarity. But yeah, we certainly can look at their RPIs, their records over the years, and we're very proud to be in the same company as those tremendous institutions. And, it just means that we're going to have to compete that much harder if we expect to win some championships.
That's outstanding. Lots of familiar faces around Conference USA. And before we wrap things up, I do want to ask you specifically about football. What is the jump to being back into a conference going to do for an FBS program that's been independent over the last couple of years, but now you have an opportunity to kind of springboard the talent level?
Well, I think there's three main things that I've talked about. Number one, and in no particular order, you get to play for a championship. When you recruit student athletes, part of the pitch is, hey, this is what conference we're in, and we get to compete for a championship and rings and things like that. That does not exist in independent football. That's one. Bowl tie-ins is another big thing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Conference USA has 6, 7 bowl tie-ins, a healthy amount. After we had such a successful Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl, we signed a 2-year agreement with them, but even that was not guaranteed. We do have a multi-year agreement with the New Mexico Bowl, and that's owned by ESPN, and they have a little more flexibility. But the reality is we didn't really have a conventional bowl tie-in. So playing for championship bowl tie-ins. And then the third thing is the financial piece. We get to be a part of a conference that has a seat at the table at the CFP. I mean, that's an LLC. It's a company with 10 board seats. And Judy McLeod, as the commissioner, sits on one of those. So while we were receiving, New Mexico State as an independent, a sliver of CFP money from an APR standpoint, the academic benchmark, now we will have access to a much bigger pot of the money from a conference success standpoint. So when we're not playing our conference rivals, we'll certainly be, rooting for them. And that's what we're excited about, because that will help improve our programs when you can infuse them with some capital.
The land of enchantment is now the land of Conference USA. Mario Moccia joining us here on the program. Mario, thanks so much. Congratulations. We look forward to talking with you soon.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to for all the fans of all the Conference USA teams to come down and visit us. We know that, Las Cruces is not necessarily a destination like San Diego, but we have a lot to offer, and we can't wait for the fans to actually get in New Mexico, specifically Las Cruces, and enjoy our hospitality.
Fantastic stuff. Good luck in the future. You can follow at Conference USA for more.